What's going on, guys? It's Random Team Arsenal back with another video, and today we'll be doing our January 2022 Banlist discussion video slash wish list. There's a couple cards in here I do wish would, change their positioning here. Now, before we get into it, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe to your friends about us. At the time of recording this video, we have over 250 subscribers. We're trying to get to 260, 270, 280, 290, 300 by the end of the year, so we can have another giveaway like we just had this past Tuesday at the time of recording this video. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it, because I got a lot of cards on this list and I really want to get through this quickly. Now, starting off with our first card on the ban list will be Eva to Zero. Now, I say this because Drytrons have a very, very imposing board when they go first and are uninhibited. Well, it could be an IP slash Beatrice slash Hero Ultimatus or Perfection, whatever you prefer, slash Dragoon or slash DPE, whatever you prefer, and those two as well, with at least 2 to 4 fairies in hand for your negations. And sometimes, even if you draw the Dark Will No More, the Forbidden Droplet for turn to naturally stop the most opposing monsters on their side of the field, you still have to deal with the Gammas in hand in that sense, because they still have basically 2 orange lights and 2 fairies. Most of the times it's still hard stopping your monsters. And if you get your monsters removed and negated twice in one turn, 9 out of 10 you're probably gonna pass. I just feel like instead of hitting Benton, which would just outright kill a fairy version of Drytrons, I feel like hitting the Eva will still give the deck a chance to either be playable, but not necessarily hurt it to the point where it's just out of the format in general. Maybe this might do it, maybe it won't, but this personally, in my opinion, I feel like just be better than hitting Ben 10 or hitting the other Drytrons themselves. Now, moving on to our second ban card would be IO, also known as Imperial Order. Now, I say this because at the time of recording this video, this is probably one of the most unfair cards in the game. In the sense of, if you resolve this, 9 out of 10 your opponent's gonna scoop. Because if they don't have a monster out to this or a trap out to this, they're basically just stuck not playing spells for the rest of the game. And okay, cool, oh, well, you're paying 700 every turn. That's cool if you already got a board set up and they can't play spells. That's great. That's wonderful. They're not gonna kill you with it, because I mean, as soon as you get below 700, it's gonna pop itself. I mean, just, do I want to play through this? I don't think so. So I'd rather just not have this here, because like the fact that, okay, you can make the argument of we still got Royal Decree to 3. It's a trap card that stops traps that can be out of my spells. That's cool. All right, so why is Imperial Order so different? Spells are some of the most powerful, most used cards in the dang game right now, besides monsters themselves. And the fact that a trap that could just be flipped on each person's turn, just an auto win button, is a problem for me. That's why I feel like it needs to go. Now, move on to the third card, Verte Anaconda. Now, I say this because, hear me out, it gives me vibes of when Orcus had their little engine in everybody's deck. I say this because when you would stop a player's turn back in the day, it would just be, okay, I got 2 monsters on the board, go into Nightmare Cerberus to Nightmare Phoenix, go into Mermaid, Mermaid effect discard, go into Orcus Nightmare, which then goes into Orcus Plays. You basically just had a play for when your plays were stopped, which I'm not saying that's not fair. It's the fact of it's kind of making it where the game is still harder to play going second. Whereas like, if I just hand trap you and I feel like I've been rewarded for stopping your actual deck, now you can just go, oh, Verte Anaconda into Dragoon or into a DPE and still have a way to basically stop me on my turn. Where I feel like that's a little too much advantage for going first for a deck, or too much, I feel like too much follow-up. Because the fact that like, if it's being splashed in every deck like right now, we have Fluffle DPE, we have Skystriker DPE, we have Tingy Sorso DPE. Like, every deck is playing DPE. And what brings them all together? Verte Anaconda. If somebody hard draws a Fusion Destiny, it seems more fair than just, you stopped my actual plays, Verte. Because, truth be told, I actually would live with a hard drawn Red Ops Fusion or hard draw Fusion Destiny. And if they get hit later on the line like the OCG did it, so be it. But right now, the Verte still has to go. Now, starting off, finishing off with our fourth card for the ban list. Smorgasburg of Sovereignty. Now I say this as a hit for Bird Up for the fact of this card is basically just for free if they have a Fractal, because this Fractal just literally dumps itself, then dump the kit, then dump Nerval. Nerval will then search for a Karis, which is basically freebie if they have any Wing Beast, Beast Warrior, etc. in their deck, which is a Bird Up deck, so they have all of that. It's basically slap down the Karis, banish 3, you got a Smart for free. Now on the end phase, you get a winged Wing Beast every end phase, which might be an Avian, which is a negate, or it might be a a Floodgate and Barrier Statue. What's his last name?
Of the Stormwinds.
Thank you, Rail. Because it's why are we playing Barrier Statues?
So if you don't have Gardarla, you kind of just lose.
Basically, thank you, Rail. Thank you. And it's the fact of it basically just says Wing Beast can't be targeted. Like it might say all your monsters can be targeted, but I swore it just says Wing Beast. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But so it says you can't target their stuff. Then every end phase I get a monster. Don't think that's really progressing the game for the person who's going against them. Like if I just base off all your plays, you still got the Smorg. It's just gonna slap out a Apex Avian that can't be targeted, or a Bear Statue that can't be targeted. So it's like, it's not necessarily killing the deck, because the deck still has, the Draco Future, it still has the Assemble Robin and other plays that can go through. Even has the Harpy Featherstorm to go as a play as well if they have it in hand. I don't think necessarily hitting the Smorg would be the end of the deck. It'd just be a slap on the wrist to say, hey, no more degenerate boards that nobody can break. Now, I had another card that possibly could be banned if it's seen as a problem with the DPE package, where we can ban Destiny or Celestial when it's basically seen as a pot of greed when you basically have no cards in hand. It basically rewards you for being handless, which I personally think it's fair, because if you have no cards in hand, I mean, you basically just feel like you're losing already. I mean, but again, if you have a whole bunch of advantage, then you basically just put all your cards face down and just draw 2. That kind of sucks. So I get that. So if anything needs to be viable as far as the viable hit, as far as the DPE package, I would think Celestial be it. Now, moving on to the limiteds. Start off with our first limited, Mystic Mind. Now,
hey, whoa, hold on, bro, hold on. What you mean, Mystic Mind?
Bro, you've had this card for like 5 years, fam.
2, only 2, and it doesn't do anything. It just stops the combo players. Let me try to play the game. It's through 15 negates. How's that fair? Tell me how that's fair. You went first. I have no hand traps, and you want to play 15 negates. I just want my 1 card. Y'all have Lightning Storm. Y'all have Twin Twister, Cosmic Cycle. I don't want to hear nothing from y'all. But continue.
I was going to say, if you can sit here and bait out those negates and slap down Mystic Mind and say, if you don't have out to this, I win this game. Does that sound fair to you?
But you play, there's 3 of everything. A lot of people main deck Lightning Storm. Okay, I win 1 game. It's the best 2 out of 3. You'll be alright.
So put it to 1. That's why I said put it to 1. He can get his 1, but 3 seems like it's too free. I got terraforming, I got set rotation, I got metaverse, and I still got 3 of this too. I'm basically got 6 copies in my deck.
Hey. Listen. Why I go to 1? Why can't I just go to 2 first? Take it easy.
You know I don't believe in semi-limits.
I know you don't. Like baby steps, man. Baby steps.
Moving on to the next card on the limited list, Tri-Brigade Fractal. Now this is basically going back to my argument with Bird Up needing to be hit in some way, shape, or form. I say this for Fractal because Fractal, like I said, is Fractal if you draw it or you search it. Fractal, kit, Nerval, search for Karis will get you a free Smorg. Now if we hit the Fractal to 1, it makes it less viable or less consistent, and I can say, and if you actually draw one of those pieces without necessarily drawing the Fractal, you would actually have to normal summon it or find some way to actually play the game with it, incorporate it. Now, like I said, I don't think this would be something that actually really hurt the deck really bad. Just be something that actually forced them to actually change their way of playing the deck, in a sense. Now, the next 3 cards are Wishlist cards, and I'm probably just going to cover them all together to make this quicker. Masterpiece, the True Draco Slaying King, Orcus Harpor, and Thunder Dragon Colossus.
Hey man, what about Electromite? Pendulum players need help too, man.
Now, I want to say Electromite, but the problem is I know how good Electromite is. Electromite would basically put Pendulums back in the game.
They need to be back in the game. They've been on the back burner since what, 2019? When the last time you see a Pendulum top?
True. But I'm thinking of what Konami's thinking of the fact of if we give them back little pieces like Skullcrobat Joker or Monkey Board and like that, try it without Electromite, see how that goes, then maybe we can bring that Electromite back. It's baby steps with it. Because they already don't like the Pendulum mechanic as it is. That's why I didn't put it on the list. Yeah. So, Masterpiece. Dracos are doing nothing right now, and you have Dynamite to 1, you have Masterpiece Band, and you have Diagram to 1. So I feel like it would not hurt them to give them some kind of, something to play, something to actually make on their inboard. I don't think a Masterpiece by itself is going to necessarily just break the game. Yes, it's unaffected by card effects, stuff like that, but there are so many links and so many extra deck monsters that can actually out this on top of there being kaijus, etc. Whereas I don't see it as big as a deal as what it used to be. Hardcore is something to give Orcus a bone to see how viable the deck would be. Because right now the deck is like a tier 2 at best. And maybe with Hardcore it might be a 1.5 if anything, but I don't think it's gonna be like top tier or anything like that because it still has its own issues and inconsistencies. Now as far as Thunder Dragon Colossus, I find this card is also like in the situation of Masterpiece where it's like, yeah, it's an opposing card, but one copy of it for a deck should be fine. It's something we test out, and if it's a problem, we can get rid of it again. Because I don't think we're gonna be going back to the boards where we had Chaos Dragon, Thunder Dragons back in the day, where they set up a whole bunch of negates, the spear, and the Colossus. I don't think that's very possible right now, or something that people are really gonna look into doing. But if it's something that actually does become a problem, we can just put it back to 1. Put it back to 0. That's why we're testing it out now. Now, we'll go into semi-limits. Now, for the first one, I will say CROSSOUT Designator. Now, I'm saying this not because it needs to be checked because it's overpowered out there, because not every deck is playing it. I say put it to 2 for the simple fact of there are people who were like screaming for Call by Grave to go back to 3. I say put 2 CROSSOUT, 2 Call by the Grave, just like in OCG, what makes it more viable. Because CROSSOUT, not a lot of people are playing this at 3. It's a 2 of anyway that a lot of people are playing it at, because it does hurt your consistency if you play a crap ton of hand traps in your deck, plus the CROSSOUT just to be able to negate hand traps. So I'm thinking, yeah, 2 and 2 would be fine just like in the OCG. Now, following up after this is wishlist cards as well, except for this one card. I want to cover this card first. Sekka's Light. Sekka's Light to 2, I feel like it's something we could test out. Because that's why I'm like basically using. Why are you looking like that? I'm basically just using semi-limits as a way to test. I'm testing. I still don't agree with it, but I'm testing it. So I'm thinking Sekka's Light to 2 would not be an issue necessarily, but the fact of you're still playing a 38 monster deck most of the times with 2 spells in your deck. I get not putting it to 3 because we saw how opposing the Sekka's Light to 3 would be, because it's basically like a free pot of greed plus 1. So I get that, but putting it to 1 it's not even being played anymore. It's an unplayable card. Like, you might as well just ban it if that was the case. If you want the card to actually be played, you have to at least play the semi-limit. Because putting it to 1, you might as well just have it banned. That's my thought on it. Now, for the wishlist cards, Gateway of the 6 and Solomon Great's Circle. Now, I say this because...
Hold on, man.
So you agree with the Gateway, but you don't agree with the Circle.
Listen, the LCG has Gateway to 3 and ain't nobody playing it.
I was gonna get to that.
You guys my opinion, man. You guys my opinion. Go ahead. I'll still be in the corner.
So Azrael was saying, it's at 3 in the OCG and nobody's doing anything with it. Try it at 2 and see what happens. Circle, it's just a testing phase. Test and see how that works out. I don't think we should put it at 3. Circle should not be at 3. No, we're good on the Rota and the immunity on our turn. We're good on that. But try it at 2 and see what happens for the deck. Now, finally moving on to the Unlimiteds. This is basic stuff that we should see as a foregone conclusion. Skullcrobat Joker, go back to 3. It's not going to do anything at all whatsoever. Like, decks make it, like, Pendulum to be more consistent. That's great, but they're not going to really do anything. Emergency Teleport, it only really helped one deck. It only really helped Virtual World. Everybody else can play it. It's just nobody else is really playing it. I mean, it's not really viable in the meta right now, except for, like I said, Virtual World. For all those Cosmo players, if this card will do anything to put you back in the meta, raise your hand. All right, one guy raised his hand. One guy. Okay, so.
Hey, I need it for my super points too, man.
So, just because he said super quants, put it back to 3. Just because he said that, put it back to 3. Just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the last card, this one's probably more debatable. It's the last card on the list. Dynamite Knight, the True Draco Fighter. Now, I know people are like questioning, like, why would you put the Dynamite to 3 and the Masterpiece to 1? I'm thinking you don't have to necessarily do both. I would say just do one or the other. Because if you got all the other smaller Dracos at 3, why not try the Dynamite at 3 as well? So they can at least be viable more. Because isn't the Dynamite the one that actually get their traps? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure.
I think Dynamite was the one that gets their traps. Because the Wind one gets their monsters, the Fire one gets their spells.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he gets the traps. So that make the deck a lot more consistent. At least I have Dynamite to 3. So personally, if it was me, I would prefer the Dynamite to 3 and then keep the Masterpiece at 0. But at least giving them something to work with the deck. It won't make it like tier 1 or nothing like that.
If you really want it to work, put diagrams to 2.
Yeah, but y'all not gonna do that. So guys, that is my Banlist discussion / wish list for January format of 2022. Tell me guys what you think in the comments below. What you would prefer, what you would like to see hit, what you like to bring back, whatever case may be. For you guys who say Maxi, that's not coming back, bro. I'm sorry. I don't want to be that guy, but Maxi's not coming back. I'm gonna leave a link to Farfa's video. Shout out to Farfa, by the way. His video of what happened if we had Maxis at 3. I'm gonna leave that in the comment section below so you guys can see that. Okay. This has been Ren and
Big Rev
from Team Arsenal signing out. Peace and have a great day.
Hi guys, it's Bunny from Team Arsenal. As always, thank you for watching our videos, and always remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye.